Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Thundercats Ultimates Mumm-Ra. Not the ever-living, we'll say ever-decaying, for lack of a better term. This course is brought to us by the fine folks over at Super7, as well as my good buddy Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below and give him a follow on ye old Instagram. While you're at it, let him know Overlord sent you. But as always, don't be a jerk, because nobody likes a jerk, right? That said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Mumm-Ra has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of creepy open mummy hands, because you can't have a creepy mummy with without a pair of creepy open mummy hands. So there you go. I'm saying that 5 times fast. I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna pick it up. That said, he does also have this alternate relaxed head, but I got that cackling head on him for a reason, man. It looks evil AF. That said, we also have the Book of Omens with the latch and everything on it. I think Lion-O came with one of those. We also get this little doodad here. Must be a trophy because Mama won the dog show or something. I don't know. I know that's not what it is. Don't leave stupid comments. I'm not that much of an imbecile. That said, we also get the Sword of Plundar, the retracted version. Saw my Mumm-Ra review from the other day. You know that I modded my Sword of Plundar that comes with ever-living Mumm-Ra, so we can wield it like, we'll say Leonardo style. Then we also get the Kako Demon Staff, because you can't have Mumm-Ra without the Kako Demon Staff. Even though this was just an LJN thing, I love this weapon. I think it's cool. Kind of reminds me of Skeletor's Havoc Staff. Probably the whole point behind that piece, actually. And last but not least, we do get a cloak. Plastic cloak that can go over him. But why would you use this when you get this nice soft goods one? That said, speaking of soft goods and plastic, if I move him over a smidge, boop, we can bring in the old Mattel one. Because I have issues, and for some reason felt the need to have both. But there you go. There is the Mattel Mumm-Ra and the Super7 Mumm-Ra. The Super7 Mumm-Ra, I think, has brighter red on the cape, as well as blue for the skin tone, whereas the Mattel one, it's more of a green color. That said, if you want a ever-living Mumm-Ra to go with this guy right here, I think the LJN toy variant from Super7 is close to this color. So you could totally make that work if you want. But, you know, this cape kind of makes him a traffic cone. But I like having him just kind of standing there looking evil. So again, I might pick up that LJN Mumm-Ra to go with him in my Mattel Jackal, man, because I got nowhere else to go, man. Nowhere else to go. But bringing this guy in, you can see he's got this nice soft goods cape from the, I want to say, fine folks over at CJessum, but don't quote me on that. That said, the old Mattel one had a cape like this, so you could pose him around. Evil Villain sent me an extra one of these. I don't know how he had 2 of them, but he did. So, there you go. But this guy, I love this guy. This figure's awesome. That said, I'm going to respectfully yank off his head and pull this off, maybe, if I can. It's a little snug. Let's just pull him out like that. There we go. We'll pop his noggin back on. Which can be easier said than done sometimes. Is that already? Oh. There we go. There we go. So here is Mumm-Ra. or Mumm-Ra the ever-decaying, stripped down and looking like Power Slave from Iron Maiden. That said, as far as his articulation goes, his head will look side to side. It will tilt. Or it'll actually like look side to side and tilt. It's on a double ball peg. Saw that, I'm sure. The arms will go up about that far. You can spin them around and then spin him at the elbow, because he does have an elbow twist. If you want to get a little bit more up, because it's not the best, he's a very unique mold. This arm in particular is a little tight, but it does work. Just gotta know how to push them joints. But he does get, I think, a full 90-degree bend in the elbow, so that's not terrible. Again, he's got the swivel, and then he's got swivel hinge wrists with the appropriate hinge for holding weapons the first time around. I don't know why this guy is the only Mattel figure to have that, but kudos to Mattel for doing that at least once. I mean, jeez. He does have a waist twist. His hips will kick out about that far. Down, forward, and back. He's got a single knee with rotation. And then he's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker joint. And that is your lot. He does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet if you want to throw him on a stand. So that's a plus. But I love this figure. This figure is awesome. I think he's fantastic. Even if you got the Mattel one, I think there's enough different here, especially with this cape, to warrant having both. That said, if you're a psycho, you probably already have both, and possibly even more. I don't know why you'd need an army of Mumm-Ras, but people have armies of Trapjaws, and armies of Ram-Mans, and armies of Boba Fett's and whatnot. Let's see if I can push his head back on. I can get his cloak seated properly here. I will say, some of the wires in this cloak are not the best. They're not like junk wires, but they don't go to the ends of his cloak. Like, there's more than one wire running through, like, the whole larger part of his cloak. And I don't think that's really necessary. I really don't. If anything, it's cumbersome to work with. I wish he just had one wire going whoop, something like that, because you would have less pokey points, as I like to call them, in the cloak. But this cloak kicks the crap out of the plastic ones. There is no contest. I love this cloak. He will be displayed with this cloak, and that is all there is to it. He'll be my little skinny, mischievous Mumm-Ra. He'll hang out with his big-bodied self, his yoked AF self, his jacked self, whatever you want to call it. So there is my story. I'm sticking to it. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Mumm-Ra, the ever decrepit, skinny, and or decaying, pick your poison there, alongside a couple other carryovers from the good old Mattel days of Thundercats Classics. Is that what they called them back then? Either way, we have both Panthro. This is version 2 of Panthro from Super 7 with the corrected trunks and his alternate head for a change, as well as Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Not rocking his alternate head, though I did find it the other day, so maybe I'll swap that on for a future video. That said, I just realized as I was filming this, I forgot to show this little ditty off. This is some kind of amulet. Definitely not doing Flava Flav any disrespect with that, I suppose. So there you go. And there he is. So getting these two out of the way. Bringing our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibolith. Right. Yeah. and the infamous Living Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone because he's not decrepit, decaying, and or skinny. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and the wire in the soft goods robe, notwithstanding, good old Mumm-Ra, the ever-decaying, we'll say, for lack of a better term, is one of my favorite figures from this Super 7 Thundercats Ultimates line because I really like the Mattel figure, and that thing was a freaking traffic cone. Not having those limitations makes him that much more fun to mess around with and pose around and play with and all of that good stuff. So yes, I really like this figure. I like the soft goods robe despite its shortcomings, we'll say. I like the base figure. Again, I was a fan of the Mattel one, so that goes without saying. And I love the new head sculpt we got with that cackling, screaming, yelling, psycho, crazy, bonkers expression he's got going on. I love this figure through and through, much like I love the ever-living version of Mumm-Ra. So I am very eager to get the two of them together on my shelf and display them proudly, as one does. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, catch you guys later.